Hi, I'm Tobin Porterfield, Supply Chain Management faculty here at Towson University. Welcome to Supply Chain Risk Management. We've designed this course to complement our supply chain management program. Given that supply chain risks or any type of event or disruption that may be caused internally, such as a failure in design or an equipment failure, or externally from a natural disaster or supplier failure or political action or piracy, there's so many opportunities today for things to go wrong in the supply chain that those risks need to be identified and measured and then proper steps taken to mitigate or avoid those risks altogether. So in this course, we'll look into those type of issues and the best practices in how to address them in today's global supply chains. The way we've organized the course is we have a series of topics we'll go through. We'll start out with exactly what is supply chain risk management, some more facts and figures on why it's an issue that we need to address today in supply chains. We'll stretch that out then and look at resilience. Resilience is how we set up supply chains in order for them to recover most quickly from disruptions. There are certain aspects of different industries that create specific ways that we need to build resiliency. So in the third chapter, we'll cover the industry issues. We'll look specifically then at natural disasters, climate change, and even pandemics. So it gets a little messy there, but those are the realities of today's global supply chains. Next, we'll look at specifically the economic risks and then follow that up with the societal risks, terrorism, piracy, and other intentional disruptions to supply chains, and then we'll deal with corruption. So we've got quite an array of nasty characters we're going to deal with in here, and then we'll wrap it up with pirates and how we respond then and make sure that on an ongoing basis our supply chains are as protected as possible. To get into these topics, each weekly module will include certainly text chapters that we'll have to read. I'll include some articles so we get some current perspectives on what's going on, some videos that others have produced, as well as some videos of my own that we can use each week to kind of get our arms around this material. We'll be using discussion boards in order to interact in this and form a little community in the class, and that we can really discuss these and bring in some different perspectives. There'll be individual assignments of questions for you to do each week and turn in, as well as problem sets when anytime there's some mathematical items that we can work with. There'll be a final case then, that'll work as our final exam, and be able to pull as many of these pieces together and apply them in a supply chain context. So that's kind of how we'll run the course. You see those 10 topics out there, and those will be our 10 weekly modules, so it'll be pretty easy to follow those in sequence. Now, each weekly module will be set up separately so you can keep track of what's going on. There'll be a document when you go inside the folder. This will all be managed through Blackboard. You'll see the weekly content option over on the left, and then once you go into that, you'll see a folder for each weekly module, and they'll be numbered and dated. And so inside that folder, you'll find an online materials guide, and that's an instruction sheet. It'll be a PDF version, and you'll be able to read through and see what exactly each activity entails, what you'll be expected to do. The other item I'll include is an online calendar, and it's a little more visual depiction of the activities that we're going to complete that week. And let me flip to a sample of that. So I designed it in a little more of a flowchart manner, and you'll see here that I'll expect you to review the syllabus and watch the course intro video, which you're already doing. And then we'll have an available discussion board that if you'd like to, I'd like you to introduce yourself on it. There'll be a little more instructions on that. Then there'll be a Module 1 required discussion forum. You'll actually receive a grade for that. And in that discussion forum, there'll be a specific question or situation that I'll put out there, and you'll be able to discuss it in the forum and not only put your ideas out there, but then reply to the postings of other students and certainly myself. And then down below, we'll certainly look at reading chapter 1 of the text and reading article 1. There'll be an optional discussion board, so if there's something you encounter in that article or in that text chapter that you want to kick around, you'll be able to post that and respond to the posts of other students. And then there'll be an assignment for us to do that'll really bring those together and allow you to apply them. And you'll do that assignment on your own and then submit your document as a PDF right into Blackboard. Each of those items has a due date, and I put a weekly calendar down at the bottom so you can kind of plan out your week. So you'll notice that there's activities to be done each week, and there's also multiple due dates each week, particularly when we're using a discussion board, because I'd like you to post early in the week and then come back later on in the week and reply to other people's posts and maybe add some additional information. The instructor's module videos, so for a particular topic, I will tee it up, as it were, and give you a little overview of where I see the materials going and what are some of the key items that we'll need to be watching for between the article and the videos and other material that I've assigned for that particular week. The video will just be a few minutes. As I mentioned, we'll have articles, we'll have links to external videos that are related to our topic, and we'll certainly have our textbook available. The discussion forums, there'll be 2 discussion forums opened each week. One will be that required one where you'll have a specific question to answer and then to discuss with other students. And then there will also be the optional discussion forum, and that optional one will be if you run across things in the textbook that you'd like to just ask and get some clarification on. The Course Cafe, or what we call the FAQ, the Frequently Asked Questions, it will be open all semester. Think of that as our little coffee shop that we can all just drop into and say, hey, I saw something in the news or something that's not quite related to the week's material, but I wanted to get it out to everyone. So it's just a place that we can share non-specific information that doesn't have to do with any specific. So that'll be out there. It'll be open all semester. We call it the Course Cafe/FAQ. And then weekly, there'll be specific module forums to address the materials in that. So course policies, a couple things to keep in mind, and please look over the syllabus for more details. But for one, late work will be accepted, but there'll be a 5% deduction per day, and the max is 4 days, because by the time 4 days are up, we'll be moving into the next module, so we'll need to move on. Academic integrity is always important when we're doing coursework. While I expect that we're going to have a community and we'll work together and discuss things, when it comes to time to turn in your assignment, I really want to see your work and your thoughts and your perspectives on things. So take a look at our academic integrity policy. We want to make sure that we keep things on the up and up. I like to use the policy called check 3 before me. So if it's something that you're not sure you can find something, or you are confused about an instruction, then I'd rather you check the course materials and textbook first. Check the Course Cafe and FAQ because it may already have been answered, and check with classmates. And if you don't really get that answer you're looking for that you need, then drop me an email and let's get this straightened out. My grading perspective, just so you know, as we're going through these, everything will have points assigned to it, but I use what I call the 85% rule. I believe that at a graduate level course that we all kind of come into it at a middle B performance, and if you go above that expectation and really bring in additional perspectives and do more than the minimum that's required, then you can move up into that B+, A- A range. And certainly if you don't meet the minimum standard, then you can drift down into those 80s and 70s. But the 85% is the meets expectation. So if you're thinking you're an A performing student, then we're going to need to see above standard performance. So find ways that you can bring more to the table. So again, really looking forward to this course, Supply Chain Risk Management. The next step for you will be to go right into Module 1, take a look at the syllabus, and then start through the Module 1 requirements. The due dates are already up there in the calendar, and we'll get rolling right along. So let's have a great semester.